Welcome to this month's energy report. We are Corey, Peyton, and myself, Yaila. This week, we're going to talk about what energies are coming in for May. So as you all know, Peyton channels the Pleiades, Corey does the astrology report, and I check in for the collective readings. So be sure to like, share, comment if these are up your alley, and we will just dive right in. Peyton, what are the Pleiadians sharing for the month of May? I can talk.
Thanks, Yaila. Hey guys, I'm Peyton, and I check in with the Pleiadians every month, and I usually ask them 3 questions. The first thing I ask them is to give us an ascension update, because, you know, as light workers, that is at the top of all of our minds. What is happening? What is going on? The second thing I always ask them is for any themes of the month. So what issues are we going to be seeing? What energetic trends are coming up? And then third, I always ask them, what can we expect? What can they tell us that will help us be a little more prepared for what's coming down the line, just so that we kind of go into the next month a little more prepared, a little more organized. So when I checked in with them this month for the May update, they had a couple things to say for us in terms of our ascension update. And so what they said is that we have all gone through a major transition recently, but that we're at that point where we can't quite see the results of it. They said that we've made a major timeline jump, and the collective is now on what they call the highest ascension timeline. So that sounds, of course, always like great news. And what they wanted us to understand is we've made this huge shift and transition as a collective, but we might not see the results of it immediately, because they always kind of remind us it takes a little time for us to see the results of our shift. So they wanted us to know that after this 3-month window we have gone through from the start of the year through the end of March, we really transitioned hugely as a collective. And they said collectively, we have made the decision to move into a unified field. And so what they wanted us to take away from this news of our transition is that not everything that we see around us in the world is a great representation of what is actually happening. So their encouragement for May is don't place too much reliance on what you see in the outside world to judge your progress. They said, you guys have shifted so much and you're moving so quickly, you can't see your progress necessarily. So they encourage us to kind of step back from what we see going on in the world, because it can make light workers think that nothing's happening. And I hear this from so many of my clients. They're doing all this work and they're not getting the reflection. The reflection is coming. So they encourage us, focus less on what you see going on around you, because that can put us in discouragement. And instead, focus on how you feel inside, because that is where you will see the true transition. So their ascension message for May is focus less on what's going on in the world around you and focus on how you feel inside, because that is what is true. That is the true barometer of your progress, your movement, and what is really going on. So that was kind of the ascension update for the month. And then I asked them, what are the themes for May? You know, what are some of the energetic trends that we'll be seeing, just so that we can kind of keep our eye on them? And they had 2 themes for us for May. The first is clarity. And they said it's very important for all of us as light workers to start getting very clear on what we want to see in the world, what we want to be living in, and what we want to manifest. They said light workers can get a little tempted by distractions, where we're looking around at what's going on and we're not using our full creative powers. So for May, what they encourage us to do is to start setting concrete intentions if that is something you haven't been doing. And I know that's something I kind of got away from a couple years ago, and they've had me really kind of double down on that, setting concrete intentions for what you want the world to be. If your intention is to be ascended as rapidly as possible, set that intention. Whatever it is you're looking for in your life, start to set a concrete intention. So clarity is the first theme of the month. The second theme that they wanted to talk about or point out is a little more detailed and a little more, I found it really interesting, and they called it consent. And so when I asked them, you know, what are you talking about? Because that's an interesting word to have as an energetic theme. They said it was time for us as a collective to start removing our consent to some of the things that we have agreed to by default in this society. Because as they always point out, the negative things that we see in the world around us that are giving us all such stress, things like corruption, manipulation, deceit, all those good things that are kind of in everybody's faces right now, the Pleiadians are saying those can only be in our reality if we have consented to them. And so they said that the powers that are controlling things, making things kind of challenging for everyone on the planet right now, they're only in power because of our consent. So what the Pleiadians are encouraging is that we start to call back our consent from anything we don't want to support anymore. So what they've had how that looks as an example, what they had me do was to start imagining with my intention that I'm pulling back my permission and my consent from anything that's based on manipulation, control, deception, or corruption. Because when you think about it, that's kind of the big four, what's kind of causing us heartache right now. So pull your energy back, just with your imagination and intention, pull that energy back to you, say that you do not consent to this anymore, and then turn around and set the concrete intention for what you do want to see in your world. Because we buy into so much because we're bombarded through the matrix that we live in, that we have to accept these things, or this is just how things are. And they're saying that's not the case. You are powerful creators. You've just agreed to some things that you probably don't want to agree to anymore. So that is the second thing they wanted to kind of remind us we can do, is call it back if you don't want to support something anymore, and then make a new choice. So those are our two themes for the month of May. And then finally, I always want to know, what can we expect? How can we be better prepared for what is coming around the corner? And they actually had some good news for us. So the first thing they had for us for May is, all these energies that the three of us have been talking about for a couple months now have been really intense lately. And even light workers who've been doing this a long time have felt a little battered, feeling those ascension symptoms. What the Pleiadians said for May is we're going to notice a big shift in these energies. They are going to continue to be strong. We're still going to have the solar energy, but they're going to feel very different. And what they said is we're going to start to, those of us who are doing our inner work, are going to start to experience these energies as bliss, as excitement, as exhilaration. So as these energies flow in, rather than feeling like we have been hit by a truck, like so many of us have been feeling, we are actually going to start to be energized by them. They said you may notice this as healing happening in your body. You may notice that as these energies come in, you start to feel a tremendous excitement, just a love of life, a joy. They said these energies are going to really start to support us. And we are going to love seeing that there are solar energies coming in instead of kind of dreading it like some of us do. So another good thing they said is we may actually start to see that we're losing weight with these energies, because we are actually holding more light and we're releasing some density. So if you've been struggling with ascension symptoms, know that there's a very good chance that that is going to start to turn around, and we are going to start to absolutely love these energies. So that's some good news. I have not heard them say that before, and I, for one, can't wait for that. The second thing they said we can expect in May is our memories are going to start to be returned to us. We all know we're under kind of a veil of amnesia, forgetfulness. They said they are going to be starting to trickle back. And along with that, we are going to get a huge boost in our intuitive abilities. They said we are just going to start to know. So they said so many light workers have been struggling with, what do we believe right now? What is true? What is false? People saying opposite things. They said our knowingness is going to be so laser sharp that we are going to have no doubt as to what is in integrity and what is not in integrity. So be prepared to rely more on your intuition, because it's going to start to be your best friend if it's not already. Let's see, other things in May, they said, along with our intuition sharpening, we are going to start to see through anything that is based on deception. So be prepared to step back from a lot of the things that are based in 3D that are still in your life. They said it's very likely that you will find those things to be completely out of resonance with you. So you may feel just the need to start turning the TV off, to putting social media down for a couple days, because you're going to start to be so in tune with what is in integrity, what is in truth for you, that anything that is not is just going to be like nails on a chalkboard. So that's another great sign. We always want to see that we're getting a boost in our discernment, our abilities. And then finally, the last thing they had for us, which is also some great news, is they said we're going to start to see benevolent systems coming online. So if you're part of the spiritual community, we have all heard endless talk over the past year about how our systems are collapsing, our structures are collapsing, but we haven't really seen that, to be honest. When I look around, I haven't really seen a huge change. But what the guide said is the seeds were planted for the replacement systems that will support the entire collective. And they said that starting in May, we are going to start to see those breaking ground. So these are going to be in all of our industries, health, finance, politics, everything. We are going to start to see the new order rising up. So the Pleiadians encourage us, be on the lookout for that and start to put your investment in these new systems, your energy, your time, your attention. And then finally, they said that we are going to start to see that any system that is based on the old way of doing things, of serving the few at the expense of the whole, what the Pleiadians said is those are going to be very short-lived. So again, be prepared to shift your investment, time, attention, and energy to what serves the whole. So that is what the Pleiadians had for us in May, what we can look out for. Corey, what do you have for us? What are you seeing in the astrology?
Wow, well, thank you, Peyton. I loved what the Pleiades had to say. That was amazing. And of course, it does coincide with some of the astrology. So May is, go, go, go. It's a go, go, go energy. And we are in eclipse season. We had a solar eclipse April 30th, and we are going to have a lunar eclipse in May. So Venus enters Aries. We have a lot of Aries energy this May. So Venus moves into Aries, and Venus is the planet of love. Aries is the sign of I am, the self. So it's about, for the next month, we're going to be, trying to give ourselves a little bit more love. What's lovable about you? Taking a look at what is lovable about you, giving ourselves a little bit more self-love. And so that's Venus and Mars. And that's on the 2nd of May. And then on May 10th, dun, 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 Mercury goes retrograde. We're going to have a Mercury retrograde in Gemini, the 10th of May. And so it's time to, retrogrades are about rewind, review, and Gemini is about communication. So if quite possibly you have said something that you need to make amends for, now's the time to do it, or to review or the things that you have communicated out to the world, to your family. Not necessarily if you need to make an amends, but if you need to make an amends, it's a good time to do so. And it's in retrograde till June. Hold on. I want to say it's, June 3rd. Okay, so Mercury goes direct June 3rd and going retrograde May 10th. So that's always a time to, review things. And it doesn't mean that, don't do anything, but know that you will need to, dot every I, cross every T. If you're going to travel, or if you're communicating to somebody, know that you might need to take a little extra time and just double and triple check everything. Like when you're going to the store or taking a trip, double check your baggage. If you're going to sign any documents, but make sure at least you check it, double check it, and triple check it. So it doesn't mean that we can't do anything. It just means we need to give ourselves a bit of grace and expect for delays. So since this is in Gemini, could be a little bit of a delay in communication, or we can go back and correct some of the communication that we've had before this retrograde. Also on May 10th, Jupiter enters Aries. So Jupiter is that expansion planet, and Aries is the, the self, fire energy, go, go, go. So we might start to feel larger than life, because anything that Jupiter, any sign that Jupiter is in, or any planet that it's conjunct with, which means right next to it, is going to enlarge it. And since Aries is a fire sign and it's a big sign as well, you might feel like we're larger than life, which isn't a bad thing, because the energies have been very, very strong. One thing to just monitor is not to overpower somebody. So like if somebody's talking to you, because Mercury's going to go retrograde, communication, if somebody's talking to you, try not to, talk over them. That would be the perfect example of this energy, right? So try not to overpower people, be overbearing, because Jupiter and Aries is big, big, big energy. So try and use it to get things done, as opposed to bowl somebody over with your energy. It's just something to watch after. And then on the 15th of May, wow. We have a lunar eclipse in Scorpio. But we also have the moon will conjunct the south node, which is, kind of like a clean sweep of all things that are unnecessary in our lives. South node is what we're collectively in Scorpio, what we're trying to heal and get rid of that don't serve us in our life. And that's with the moon. So the moon is our emotions. It's our feminine energy. So anything that we're holding on to that we just don't want to let go of, that energy will be supported then. And then also we have Mars and Neptune that's going to be in Pisces. So I loved it. This coincides with what the Pleiades were telling us, keep your intentions clear, very clear, because Neptune is like smoke and mirrors, foggy energy. So if you are not keeping your intentions clear, the universe will just take you where it wants to. So don't leave that to chance. Set some intentions and make sure that they're very clear, so that the universe doesn't sweep you away in whatever it chooses to do. Also on the 15th, Venus and Chiron are together. And so it's time, if you have any broken heart, we all have broken hearts for something or someone, it's a good time to review that and heal that part of our life. It could be family issues, whatever it is, maybe a job that you wanted that you didn't get, or a pet, pets, whatever that is, it's time to look at that and start to really go within and heal that part of your heart. And also, so if there isn't enough, Uranus and the North Node are in Taurus. So this has been going on for quite a while, but they're going to be really close together. So be willing to see your destiny. North Node is what we work towards as well. We all have our individual North and South Node, and we have the collective North and South Node. And the North Node is in Taurus. And Uranus is also in Taurus, and they're going to be very close together. So it's a destiny point. So like the Pleiades were saying, we're starting to see, the ascension symptoms that we've been going through, what is coming of that, right? And then on the 20th. Oh, and then of course that is the lunar full moon eclipse. No, it's I'm sorry, the lunar full moon eclipse in Scorpio. So go with the flow. Scorpio is those hidden secrets, sexuality, greed, power, so don't give your power away, right? And don't bowl anybody over, because we're going to have that Aries that's connected with it. So the full moon is, what do we want to shed? What do we want to get rid of? The things that no longer serve us. So when it comes to maybe relationships, money, maybe we might feel a bit greedy, and it's, we've had lots of rumors of, food supply and, all those types of things. So what doesn't serve you anymore, and it's going to be very, very strong, because we have all those other aspects that are going to be going on with that. So going with the flow, don't fight the current, let go. And then we have on the 24th, Mars moves into Aries, which is Aries ruling planet. It's the output energy. So that's what we're going to be moving forward, like the Pleiades, action, 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 moving forward. And one of the things that I wanted to say about that is this month's energy is very move forward, strong energy. But the way to really use this energy is we have one or two ways. We can either just get really busy, go, 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 and maybe get swept up into somewhere that we don't want to be. There will be times this month in May that even though the energy is very move forward, it is very important to use our intuition, not our logic, but our intuition, so that we use that pause and look what we're moving forward into, as opposed to, like I always did when I was younger, is, I just always jumped in with 2 feet and then thought about the consequences later. You don't want to do that this month, Take a look at where you're going and what you're jumping into before you do it. But the current will be very strong moving forward. And this is great for, manifesting business, getting things done, all the to-do lists that you have. It's a great month to do that. House clean, get it done, because that energy will be very supportive of that. But remember, self-care is still very important in these strong energies. And Venus goes into Taurus on the 28th. And that's inspiration for beauty, because Taurus rules money, beauty, art. And so that'll be a great time, to find beauty in all things, a new level, which coincides with the Pleiades, right? That, our intuition is going to be kicking in, and all those things that we've been working so hard will be hitting a new level. And then on the 30th, the sun and the moon will be in Gemini. And that is a new moon in Gemini. So manifestations, and that's like, it's inspiring a complete integration of the masculine and the feminine, integrating them together, the balance. Gemini is about communication. Girls, I think that it might be really good, because we've been doing this for a while. And the new moon that's coming up in May, communication. It's a great support in communication. So May is going to be, it's going to be a good month. It's still strong energy. moving forward. We're in eclipse season, which means the energies are even more strong. But don't forget that pause button before you leap. So that's all I have for the astrology right now, which is a lot. That's maybe a quarter of what's really going on. But there's just a lot going on. But that's the basic of it. Yaila, what have you got?
Thank you, Corey. I don't know. Let's find out. So let me just tap into the energy as a collective. So far, May is sounding pretty good from you, Peyton and Corey. So let me just tap into the collective and I'll just get the overall energy really fast. As the ladies were talking, my crown is already tingling. So they're like trying to give me information already. So let me just call that in really fast. All right. So for the collective, I'm actually getting a couple colors. I'm getting like an orange and a green and some yellow. So it feels like what they first want to say for the collective is emotions. We're really going to be feeling our emotions for where we're at, what we want. And I feel like that coincides with our intuition. We're really going to feel what's in alignment, what's not in alignment on our own inner level. So tapping into your emotions and how you feel with different people and different situations is really going to be the driver of the month of May for you. So they're kind of highlighting that energy. Yellow is, of course, I see the chakras that coincide with these colors. So yellow definitely stepping into your personal power. And they're really highlighting the word confidence in yourself and where you want to be. The last several months, we've really been looking at our values and what's in alignment and what's not, and being called to do a lot of work around that. So looking at where your confidence levels are and what makes you feel good in different situations. So really just drawing on your own personal power, your own energy with that is also going to be supporting the energy. And then the green is highlighting relationships, and it's relationships to other people. They're giving me the image of, it's almost like having your arm around somebody else's shoulder and just saying, come on, we're in this together, and just kind of carrying each other arm in arm to the next level. So it really feels like the relationships in our life are really going to be another big factor for us right now, and leaning on those people who help us just feel more like ourselves, help us to stay in alignment, help us to just really support where we want to be going. And we're also going to want to be that for other people. Again, it's that vision of your arm around somebody's shoulder, like, we got this, let's go. So those are kind of the stronger energies right now. Let me just ask what the collective needs to know, what to watch out for. They're giving the word soothing. And so it feels like there's going to be some soothing energy as far as we're stepping into this new next level, we're going to be leaning towards what feels soothing and good versus having to kind of push and like try really hard. I feel like these last couple months, we've really just been trying as hard as we can to show up to our day in, day out things. And now we're going to be feeling a little more of a soothing energy where it just starts to feel like alignment. It just starts to feel like we're in place. So we're going to, even though the energies are going to be busy and full, we're going to have a level of comfort added to it that we haven't had in a little bit. And the next word they're giving me is transition. So it feels like we're going to be transitioning into our next steps. So we've kind of been shown, if you want to watch some of our previous videos on growth periods, it feels like the collective has been going through a major growth period, which is energetically and physically, things are starting to, they're out of alignment, or they've been out of alignment for a little bit. So kind of where we wanted to go on a spiritual level or an energetic level, the physical world is starting to catch up. But that interim is kind of a growth period where things just everything feels like it's falling apart basically. So when they're bringing the word transformation right now, it really feels like we're going to start lining up with what we've been working so hard for. So just be follow those feelings, follow that inner guidance, follow those people who are willing to support you and you want to support, that arm in arm, that camaraderie, and go where it feels good, because that's what's going to show you what's in alignment for you and what's not. Because it feels like there's going to be some very big transitions coming up for people, and I'm kind of being shown on different levels. So jobs are going to be, there's like new job opportunities coming in for a lot of people, job changes. They're kind of giving the information like somebody that's been wanting a particular industry or a particular job that they've been working really hard. I'm just kind of seeing those pieces fall into place. Or relationships, a lot of people I'm seeing continue to partner up throughout this whole year, but it feels like May really starts that ball rolling for a lot of people. So they're really starting to find just the people, their tribe, their partner, their career that really just feels in alignment for them. So it feels like May is one of those months where things start to slowly move forward. It starts to pick up the momentum in the direction that you want to go. Let me just ask if there's anything to watch out for. They're giving me the word greed. So watching where you're feeling greedy with your time, your finances, where other people are imposing their own greed into your space. So just pay attention to the energy of greed out there, where knowing that there's plenty to go around. Our world is very abundant, but it looks like watching out for situations that can pop up where there is some lack or scarcity mentality that's leaning you more towards greed, or you're watching somebody else lean in that direction. Be mindful of that and adjust your focus on that, or adjust your how you're physically showing up in those type of scenarios. So just watch out for greed in different forms, whether it's from you or from other people. And just ask if there's any last little things they want to add for the month of May 2022. So the last thing they're adding is that we are officially on the ride. There's no getting off. It is officially a go. So we are in this energy just to help ride it out. And where you want to focus is, again, how your ride is going to feel. So if you're focused on what's not working, what you don't like, watching those complaints. I feel like for a lot of us, when we're in a transition period, we can kind of complain a lot. We can complain a lot about other people, their situations. Just know where you're focusing is how your experience is going to show up for the most part. If you're focusing on what is fun, what can be a, surprise, or, the cool interactions you're having, you're going to have more of that experience. So really just watch where your focus is, because we are already on the ride. There's no getting off. We're right in the middle of it. So as Corey and Payne like to say, buckle up, buttercup, or keep that buckle button buckled. We are riding the ride as we speak. And May is really, we're in the middle of it. We've already gone down the big, we've kind of, using a roller coaster analogy, we've kind of gone up the high point, and now we are starting to just ride the ride. So keep your seatbelts on, and just know your focus means the biggest impact for how that ride is going to feel for you. So that's what I have for the month of May. Ladies, would you like to add anything else for the energy report? No? Very cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us for this month's energy report. Of course, you can find all of our information linked below. We all offer classes. We all offer working with individuals one-on-one. We have different meditations, so lots of resources, previous videos. Definitely check out our library. It's getting pretty extensive. We post every Wednesday a new video. So we will see you next week with our latest topic. And thanks again for your likes, shares, and comments. They really help support the channel. We'll see you next week. Bye.